The Academy Museum Gala returned to Los Angeles for its 5th year, bringing out Hollywood's biggest names in their most daring looks. But while some aimed for glamour, others landed in the "what were they thinking" category. So let's take a look at some of the night's most talked about fashion misses, starting with Eva Longoria in Elisab. Now, Eva usually brings the heat, but this one, not so much. The shimmer is there, but it's giving more fish scale fantasy than effortless glamour. The fit doesn't do her justice either. A rare miss for someone who usually nails it. In contrast, Kim Kardashian in Maison Margiela balanced surreal and stunning perfectly. The new draped gown with a full-face veil was bizarre yet magnetic. And though it shocked many, I actually loved this bold avant-garde look. Then there's Lucy Liu in Miss Sohee. The color, stunning, no doubt about it. But the shape gives off a bit of luxury balloon chic, with the bodice looking tighter than it should. Naomi Watts showed up in Balenciaga, and I'll give her points for confidence because this one was bold. The structured shape and feathers gave elegant lampshade. The feathers tried to add drama, but the whole thing ended up looking like minimalism that accidentally wandered into a bird costume. Kirsten Dunst in Rodart went for soft and romantic. Sheer lace, delicate florals, but something about it looked unfinished. The nude tones washed her out, and the result felt more like a work in progress than a red carpet masterpiece. Meanwhile, Laura Dern tried to channel vintage glamour in Miu Miu, but the feathers didn't exactly help. They looked like they came straight off a Thanksgiving centerpiece, and that oddly placed cutout didn't do much to save it. And then Zoe Kravitz, usually the queen of effortless cool, missed the mark in Saint Laurent. The bronze fabric and oversized sleeves were way too much, swallowing her frame and giving full-on trash bag couture vibes. Mikey Madison's Christian Dior look didn't fare better. Delicate lace, yes, but overall it felt like vintage lingerie that wandered onto the wrong carpet. Maybe she was aiming for a little haunted nightgown chic just in time for Halloween season. Charli XCX, also in Saint Laurent, went for dark and dramatic, but the execution wasn't there. The top was too loose, the skirt too heavy, like a melted gothic wedding cake. Cool concept, rough delivery. Anna Kendrick in Carolina Herrera looked like she raided a vintage lampshade store, and those gold florals with the stiff structure only dialed up the quirky, over-the-top energy of the outfit. Kendall Jenner, on the other hand, kept it simple in the row, but maybe too simple. The fit was perfect, but the vibe was all business casual funeral, like she's counting the minutes until her next espresso. Hailey Bieber showed up in Schiaparelli with a look that had real potential. However, the beige middle section threw off the balance, leaving the daring silhouette feeling oddly unfinished. The Fanning sisters didn't have the best night either. Ella's Balenciaga number was a pink and red color clash that fought itself for attention, while Dakota's Armani gown went to the opposite extreme. Stiff, heavy, and curtain-like. Two completely different styles, but the same result: the Fanning sisters' fashion flop moment. Not far behind, Monica Barbaro and Christian Dior looked like she grabbed a hotel bedsheet and called it a day. Jenna Ortega, on the other hand, went for a futuristic vibe in Grace Ling. But while the sci-fi concept was cool, the look felt unfinished. The metallic top and plain skirt just didn't belong in the same galaxy. And if you're wondering, yes, the Academy Museum Gala is hosted by the same Academy that runs the Oscars. Think of this event as a preview of the red carpet drama to come at this year's awards. So while we wait for the big night, let's take a look back at last year's Oscars looks that had everyone talking, for all the wrong reasons. It was a huge night for Best Supporting Actress winner Zoe Saldana, but unfortunately her dress was an even bigger fashion fail. It looked like someone took a pair of velvet drapes, stuffed them like throw pillows, and called it couture. At this point, her dress might be more qualified for interior design than the red carpet. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, Whoopi Goldberg said, "Hold my space blanket." Now, I love Whoopi, but this dress? It looked like she got wrapped up in futuristic gift wrap, or maybe a very fancy garbage bag. Bold? Absolutely. Flattering? Not so much.
You are a vision.
This dress is spectacular, I'm not gonna lie.
Then there's Isabella Rossellini, an absolute legend, but her dress? More luxury hotel drapery than red carpet elegance. The deep blue velvet was stunning, but the shapeless cut swallowed her whole. A little structure could have taken this from medieval wizard to true Hollywood royalty. Olivia Wilde, on the other hand, went in the opposite direction, straight to honeymoon lingerie territory. Someone should have reminded her this wasn't a pajama party. And Penelope Cruz? She usually stuns, but this dress completely lost her waistline in layers of unnecessary draping. Meanwhile, Sofia Vergara's lace-up gown was more beach club chic than red carpet glam. A rare miss for both.
I don't do what is in fashion, I just do what makes me feel confident and beautiful.
Anna Kendrick, however, had the opposite problem. Too much going on. The asymmetrical shoulder, the fringe, the layers. It looked like she lost a battle with a pom-pom factory. Points for trying, but sometimes less is more.
I just don't want to think about it, I don't want to worry about it.
And then there's Julia Fox. Maybe she was aiming for the birth of Venus, but instead of flowing waves, she got caught in a tangled mess of misplaced hair extensions. Or maybe she was just trying to outdo Bianca Censori's barely there Grammy dress? Because nothing says moving on like beating your ex's new wife in the shock factor game. And last but definitely not least, Brandi Carlile. She arrived looking like the Mad Hatter minus the hat. The polka dots, oversized lapels, and that random red bow. Major eccentric tea party host vibes. We're just waiting on the Wonderland invite at this point.
How do you feel in this?
I feel like I'm a part of a fairy tale. I really do. It's like I'm in a beautiful fairy tale.
Wow.
Once the Oscars wrapped up, it was time for the real fun to begin. The Vanity Fair Oscar party. But first, a quick outfit change. Because let's be real, after hours of sitting through the ceremony, winners and guests needed something a little more dance floor friendly. And let's not forget, In-N-Out approved. Plus, it's another chance to serve a killer red carpet moment. While most played it safe with old Hollywood glamour, Sarah Paulson said, subtle? Never. Was her dress bizarre? Absolutely. But in a sea of predictable gowns, this was the chaotic energy we didn't know we needed. Meanwhile, Zoe Saldana's stylist might have been on vacation, because after her Oscars drapery disaster, she swapped one questionable look for another. This time with a curtain-like skirt that gave off modern dance instructor with avant-garde aspirations. And not in a good way. Cynthia Erivo ditched her Elphaba-inspired velvet for something much lighter, but no less dramatic. In Vivienne Westwood, she served high-fashion Greek goddess with a punk edge, floaty yet fierce. And then there was Megan Thee Stallion, who took the biggest risk of the night, serving full jungle couture. Between the strategically placed greenery and daring cut, this look is destined to be one of the most talked about Vanity Fair moments. Whether you call it bold genius or just plain wild,